Hello. Welcome to another episode of What Nobody Told Me After 65. Well, it's your lady on the go, lady in the know, Miss Info, and you have reached the Information Nation, where knowledge is shared and wisdom exchanged for the betterment of a people. I'm back. I'm tired. Don't I look tired? Yeah. I got back on Monday, late. Well, I say late. It wasn't late. It was early in the morning. I left my daughter's house late because I was angry. But that's another topic. And I've been struggling ever since to try to get my brain wrapped around some topics that I wanted to talk about. And because I wasn't prepared, I didn't do anything yesterday. Ran around with my granddaughter. I'm enjoying her, really I am. But it disrupts my schedule. And that's just the way it is. I had company today. My cousin came and visited me. Hey, Teddy. And I was so happy to see him and his wife. We had brunch and sat out on the beach. And it was very nice visiting with family. But I realized that I didn't have a video ready for tonight. Didn't have a topic really, but quite by accident, I found something very interesting. That there is a study that relates to the theory of knowledge, especially with regards to its methods, validity, and scope of knowledge. Yeah, it's called epistemology. Epistemology. It is the art or the study of the nature and limits of human knowledge. Who knew? I always said you don't know what you don't know, but somebody's been studying this. I realized when I was a little kid, I didn't know anything. Nothing at all, right? And then later on, I became a teenager and I knew very little, a little something, at least I thought I did. As a young adult, I thought I knew more than anybody else. I was the stuff, okay? And then as a mature adult, I figured, well, I've lived long enough to know some things. I can talk about some things. However, today I'm telling you, I know very little. It's a big world out there with a lot of things that I don't know anything about. And I find myself, studying, going down rabbit holes. I was thinking about some of the influential black actors that we had in the past. And I was going to talk about that. And I started reading up on Paul Robeson. He was something else. I looked up Fred Williamson, Carl Williams, Carl Weathers, Ving Rhames. I mean, names just started popping in my head because after I looked up Paul Robeson, I realized there's a lot I didn't know about him. And there's still a lot more people out there that I'd like to know something about, but I mean, I'm only one person. And then I stumbled upon the fact that there is, let me see if I can get this thing to tell me how to say it, the study of human knowledge. The study of human knowledge. Epistemology. Yeah. We don't know anything. We think we do, but we know nothing at all. And epistemology is a fundamental and long-standing philosophical issue because really you can debate it. Do you know what you think you know? The field of epistemology is dedicated to exploring the nature, scope, and limits of human knowledge. While there are various perspectives on this question, here's an overview of some common positions that philosophers have taken as it relates to the study of human knowledge. Skepticism. Skepticism is the view that we cannot know anything with certainty. Various forms of skeptics argue that our senses are unreliable, our reasoning is flawed, and that we are limited by our perspective and experiences, which is right. I've often said to young people who had to go to court, I said, listen to me. That person is sitting on the bench that's going to hear your case. He has a family. He or she have a family. Depending on what happened last night at home, you're going to catch it. They can't help it. It's their experience. It is what they know. Even though they've been trained, they went to school, you've been taught, don't bring that into the courtroom. Don't bring that to work with you. We've been told that. But it happens. It overlaps. Who you are seeps out. Who you are is who you are. What you know in your head, what you've been taught, what your experiences are. So, there is another perspective. Rationalism. Rationale. Okay, so rationalists believe that certain truths can be known through reason and logic alone. Rationalists argue that there are innate ideas or principles that are self-evident and do not require empirical observation. Now, basically what that's saying is if you're not a skeptic, you are a rationalist. Again, down a rabbit hole with these brainy people with these words that really mean the same thing or the opposite of the same thing. Okay, here's another perspective. Empiricism. Empiricists, on the other hand, argue that knowledge comes primarily from your sensory experiences. What is it, the five senses? Hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling. There's five of them, right? Hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling, and I guess thought. So, empiricists believe that your sensory experiences are primarily what you use to gain knowledge. Okay, so again, that's what we have attained, or those are the things that we have acquired throughout life. When we were little kids, we didn't know much of nothing. We weren't tasting and touching too much of anything unless it was given to us. So we were a product of whoever was feeding us and what they were feeding us. And as time went on, that became your husband, your wife, your children. People were feeding into your life. So now your senses are heightened and you gain experience from this, so therefore you've got some knowledge. Stay with me. I think I'm going somewhere. Okay, and here's another perspective on understanding human knowledge, because that's what we're talking about here. Pragmatism. Pragmatists focus on the practical consequences of beliefs rather than on abstract notions of truth. According to pragmatism, the truth of a belief is determined by its usefulness in guiding action and solving problems. So, if you're a pragmatist, you believe that an action is, and how this action moves you is your truth and helps you to solve problems. Okay, so let's unpack this. If you are a pragmatist, you believe that there are abstract notions of truth, right? And that your truth is determined by its usefulness in guiding your action into solving problems. Okay. All right, light. I tell you, that's the way it's been. Now the light wants to act up. But again, if I don't know anything at all, I can tell you that I don't know anything at all. And that's where that acronym comes in. You don't know what you don't know. But I had no idea that there was a complete study of it, and it is called epistemology, the study of human knowledge. I guess we can take that to the bank. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know. I'm going to be taking off to take my granddaughter up the road. I'm going to have to take her back home. Didn't realize I was going to have to do that, but the best laid plans go awry. You know what the lighting is like. I don't want to have to carry all this stuff with me. And I know how finicky you folks are. Now, I said last week when I was at my daughter's, I was broadcasting in her bedroom and I wasn't sure about the lighting, and doggone it if somebody didn't say, I think you need to do your homework on your camera. Please, I'm doing this broadcast and all the 124 before this one on my cell phone camera. How about that? Whole movies are being done on iPhone cameras. So get a grip. This is not about camera. It is about lighting, microphones, all that stuff. That's just extra. This is being done with my Samsung flip phone, the Z Fold flip. There goes that light again. And I'm using the microphone inside the camera, inside the phone. So this is what it is. And remember, you don't know what you don't know. Thanks for listening.